Jay, you're a piece of shit. A piece of shit. Oh, Jay, you suck.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking to Myself. I'm your host, Jake Letizia, and this is the podcast where I look into a camera and I talk to myself. What's up? How's it going? Let me make sure my levels are good. Yeah, they're pretty okay. What's up, everybody? Someone just liked me on OkCupid. That's cool, huh? Dude, that's fucking sick. Somebody just liked me. Some lady out there just went, you know what? Why not for this guy? That's fucking so dope. Will we ever match? Probably not, because I would say 90% of the time my phone goes, somebody likes you, and then 10% of the time I end up finding out who that is by matching with them. But I'm not complaining. That's just how it goes on the apps, baby. You fucking don't match with that many people. That's how it goes. If you're a boyo, if you're a man, if you're a heterosexual man, I don't think you match much on those apps. Which it is what it is, man. Dude, I was hit with so much clarity of how different dating apps are for women than men when I went on an OkCupid date like months ago. Pre-COVID, I went on a fucking date. I went all the way to New Jersey because I hadn't had human interaction in quite some time. It's strange the lengths you go through to be even just romantic with somebody when you haven't in a long time. I drove to New Jersey. That's the lengths I went to. I went to an exact mile length. There's an exact mile length that you can attach to how desperate and lonely I was. Fucking 50 miles. I don't know what it was. From Westchester to New Jersey, whatever that is. Calculate it. I don't know. But anyway, I went to New Jersey to meet somebody. Wasn't a good time. Went poorly. Went so poorly. I'm sure I said this on the podcast before, but I'm bad. Okay, dating apps, I'm bad. I don't know why I use them, because 90% of the time, I don't know why everything is 90% with dating apps, but it is 90% of the time when I go on a date on a dating app, I go and see them in person and go, oh, you're not what I made up in my brain. I've definitely said this on the podcast before. You're not what I made up in my head. You don't look anything like the picture you had, and also the additional things that I adjusted in my brain. The fucked up thing about pictures nowadays is that they're already so distorted. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already filter yourself so much and you change your image so much that you go through another filter in that person's brain. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, me looking at photos now, I understand, like, oh, you probably put it through a filter. You probably changed some things up. This is probably not an exact replica of what you look like in real life. So then I take that picture and run it through my own fucking reality filter in my brain. And then between those filters, you never look like how I think you might look like. So it's always a jarring experience when I meet the person and I'm like, oh, you're not unattractive, but also you're different in a way that makes me uncomfortable. I feel weird. I gotta get the fuck out of here. It's also crazy how much people, men and women, anybody, can transform how they look now. You can look like a completely different person. It really, and maybe this will eventually happen, but I feel like dating apps are kind of obsolete by the amount of deception you could potentially have on your dating app. First of all, you could just lie about your life completely. You could just make up a whole fucking entire life that you don't have. Just say money you don't make. Just say you live somewhere you don't. It's very easy to, like, catfishing. Like, people already catfish as a completely different human being, like a different picture and everything, but you could just catfish personality-wise. Happens all the time. To be honest with you, that's a more egregious offense to me. I think that's a more egregious offense, and it happens way more often, is personality catfishing. People do that constantly. People do that in front of your fucking face. They go and talk to one person or a certain person, and they go to your face and become a completely different human being because they think that you're going to like that human being more. Hey, dude, that's fucking personality catfishing. That's some fucking PC bullshit right there. No, I can't use PC. Fuck, PC. God damn it. Why do I have to be abbreviate to PC? Can't do that. Dell computers and political correctness. That's PC. We can't add a fucking third PC. Personality changing. It's fucked up. Personality catfish. A CP. Catfish personality. But then it just sounds like you have the personality of a catfish. Catfish personality sounds like you have the personality of a catfish, so that doesn't really work. Anyway, what was I talking about? Of course, I went on a giant tangent. That's what this podcast is. I bring up an idea, I forget about it entirely, I go on a tangent that doesn't make any sense, and then I wrap back around to the idea. That's what this thing is. So if you've never heard this podcast before, enjoy it. Fair warning, I'm not going to make any fucking sense. Yes. So I went to New Jersey, and for whatever reason, we were talking about the apps. For some reason, that's what a lot of dates become now. Is like, what's your experience with the apps? That becomes a conversation within every date I go on. That happens now. Isn't that interesting? It's become like, what do you do? What's your life like? What are your hobbies? Have you ever used dating apps? Those are the questions on dates. Even if you didn't meet on a dating app, it's always a question. Oh, what do you think of them? Do you like them? And everyone, 100% of the time, fuck 90%, no 90 for this one, 100% of the time, everyone goes, yeah, dating apps suck. But we use them. We use the fuck out of them. Anyway, so that was happening. We were having that little conversation. And I was saying, yeah, I don't really like them that much. And she was also saying, yeah, I don't like them. And we're on a date from them. So what are we doing? If we both don't like dating apps and now we're on a date from it, why are we on this date? All of this doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't understand the life I lead the majority of the time. Anyway, so then we start talking about dating apps. And she's like, yeah, I'm probably going to delete this one. I go, oh, really? She's like, yeah, I deleted all the other ones. I don't really like any of them. I go, well, how long have you had OkCupid? She goes, about 5 days. I was like, oh, wow. And I looked at her OkCupid to see how many likes she had. And she had about 1,000 likes. She had probably about 1,200, 1,500. I can't remember. Let's be conservative and say she had 1,200 likes. In 5 days, she had 1,200 likes. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to be rude, but she is a pretty good-looking woman. Like, she wasn't like, holy fucking what? You know what I'm saying? She was a good-looking woman. Pretty good-looking. Some might find this person unattractive. That's my point. My point is she wasn't, like me, not the most beautiful human being of all time. Okay? And I would say I'm average looking. I'm okay looking. Some would say ugly. Some would say, oh, yeah. That's me. Okay? So, me and her were pretty even keel in the looks department, I think. And she had 1,200 likes in 5 days. I, at the time, had been using the app because I've made, deleted. 10 fucking times maybe on these apps with all different profiles because you get tired of it. You're like, I mean, our conversation was these things suck. I'm about to delete it. That's just what happens. It's the nature of the beast. You download them. You go, oh, I'm lonely. Then the app makes you feel lonelier and shittier. And you're like, I got to get the fuck out of here. You delete the profile. A couple months later, you're lonely again. You download the app. It's a vicious cycle. Anyway, at the time, I was on the apps for about a couple of months, I'd say. 3 months, maybe. I had, I think, 100 likes, maybe a little bit over 100, maybe 150. Let's say 150. Let's be generous. Let's be generous and say I had 200. I don't think I did. I think I had 150. But let's be generous and say I had 200 likes. And these aren't people I matched with. These are just people that liked me in 3 months. And she had 1,200 in 5 days. Can we appreciate how fucking crazy that is? How absolutely insane that is? And I told her that. I was like, I have about 200. And she was like, what? And I was like, yep. And that blew my mind that she didn't realize. I guess I also in that moment was like, wow, that's a bigger number. That's more disparate than I thought it was going to be. But also, my brain was like, well, that makes sense. I knew you were going to have more than me. But she was like, I guess we were shocked at the same thing, at how much more. And maybe that's my fault. Maybe my profile sucks. Maybe. Or maybe dating apps just fucking exaggerate what happens in reality, you know? Also, you just get to see the human mind statistically on fucking dating apps. Because that's what it is in real life. Walking down the street. Walking down the street, just existing. If I go to a bar every weekend for a year, which I've done. I went to a bar every weekend for a year because I liked the bar. It was fun to do on the weekends. Why not? Go to a bar. So there's a bar I liked. Sometimes I'd go with friends. Sometimes I'd go solo dolo. But I would go there every Friday or Saturday night for a year. And how many times can I say a year? Did you hear me say a year yet? I went for a year. And I would say I was approached by women 5 times, maybe, in that year. 5 times. And a lot of those times I was there alone. So if somebody's alone, it's the ideal, I can approach that person. And I'm not like complaining. I'm not saying it should be more. I'm just saying that's what it is. I got approached 5 times in a year. And again, that's probably generous. It's probably more like 2 or 3 times I was approached by somebody who was like, what's up? What's your deal? Somebody who was interested in me physically. Somebody who wanted to jingle jangle my bones. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody who wanted to rattle me bones. And if you're a woman, I would say that probably every single night you'll not only get approached, but you'll be harassed by a couple of men. Every night that you go, any night you go to a bar alone, you will not only be approached by someone you might be interested in, but there will also be like 5 other guys who are just irritating as shit, bothering you. Isn't it interesting? It's so interesting, the wild difference. Men sit at a bar lonely going, will anyone ever love me? And women sit at a bar alone thinking, will anyone ever leave me alone? And the answer for men is yes, and the answer for women is no. Or it's no for both, depending on the question. What was the question I asked? If men are asking, does anybody love me? The answer is no. And women, will anybody ever leave me alone? The answer is no. Unfortunately, I I hope that'll change. I hope we'll both get yeses in the future. I hope society can progress in that manner, but we're not, though. It's not going to happen. I don't know. Good or bad, I just don't think. You know why I am pessimistic about it? I'm pessimistic about that society changing in the way that like it'll be more even with dating, is because it should already be that, right? It should already be men bother women less and women bother men more. It should already be that, but it isn't. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, dating has progressed somewhat. I think it's less aggressive than it used to be, right? I don't know. I have only lived my life, so I don't really know. I don't really know what it was like in the fucking 50s, but it sounded pretty aggressive. It sounded like people didn't really care what women were thinking during dating. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like at least society is trying to be more accommodating towards women in the dating sphere. That's what it seems like to me. That more men at least are thinking about, hey, is she cool with this? That's so fucked up. I'm just laughing nervously because that's so fucked. It's true. That's been the major progress in dating, or a large part of progress in dating, is men now at least thinking about like, oh, and trying to make sure, oh, she's cool with everything, right? Like she is into me, right? Meanwhile, it used to be like men being like, I'm going to convince you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to convince you. Still guys do that. Why do people do that? Don't do that. Don't convince somebody to like you. They don't like you? Okay, bye. All you got to do is wear a woman down. That's a thing that people have said and probably do say. I don't know, man. I don't have the solutions. I don't. I just have just observing. And it's fucking weird. Anyway, I got a like on OkCupid. What a way to end that subject. I don't have any solutions. Anyway, men are still pigs sometimes. Anyway, women are mean as shit sometimes. Anyway, we all fucking suck. Anyway, I don't know. We're all fucking idiots, man. I don't know what. Yeah, every story in my brain right now is just a story I've already told. I've just talked about dating so much on this podcast. How many episodes is this? Is this 75? This is the 75th episode. I've talked about so many fucking dating type scenarios. I don't even know if I have any left. With COVID, bro, I'm out of dating stories. With COVID, I'm out of dating stories. All right? There's nothing to talk about now with dating apps. It's just bullshit. I've already talked about it. It's bullshit. There's no progress in the field of love going on right now, okay? Romantic shit is dead right now. And I think it's adding to a lot of people's depression. It's fucking me up a little bit. I'm getting that feeling, man. That antsy feeling of just like, I gotta fucking... You know what I'm saying? That antsy, I'm getting ready to drive to New Jersey. You know what I'm talking about? I'm getting ready to drive to New Jersey. That's a feeling that people have. When people do not have sex in a long time, where they are not intimate or romantic in any way with the opposite sex or the sex that they like for a long fucking time, they get that feeling in their gut where they're like, I gotta drive to New Jersey. I gotta go somewhere. I don't care if it's far, but if somebody's there who's gonna fucking hug me, I'm going. I don't care if it's fucking 100 degrees out. I gotta hug somebody. because I'm feeling dead inside because it's been like a year since I've had human connection. What the fuck, COVID? COVID's killing the human soul and it's fucking up the fuck game, dude. None of us can fuck because of the goddamn illness. COVID is not a sexually transmitted disease, but it's a sexually stifling one, dude. It's a cock block of a disease. It's a pussy cock blocking fucking instrument. Anyway, the fuck am I talking about? All right. Just talked for like fucking usual fashion. I just talked about one subject for fucking 25 minutes without even realizing it. Oh, just wasted 25 minutes. Just wasted almost a half hour of this podcast on one stupid subject. Hell yeah. Aliens, bro. What's up? Did you guys see that? The Pentagon. It's so funny. So the Pentagon, major news outlets are all reporting on this, which I guess means like New York Times, CNN, Fox, all the big ones, all the big kahunas, all the ones that you know the names of, all the ones that people go, hey, that's fucking fake shit. Anyway, well, that's the thing, too. It's like if everyone is saying all news is fake news, then when aliens come out, is that fake news? Is all media tabloid now? Is that how we're considering things? This is all fucking tabloid bullshit. Let's not believe any of it. Is the New York Times a gossip column now? Is that how we're treating it? I don't know. I don't vet any of these journalists, so I don't know. But the way people are treating the media, calling it fake news, it feels as though we're supposed to treat everything as tabloid, as gossipy shit. And it's true. I don't know. That's the thing about fake news and all that shit, and then disbelieving the media is I think. I don't think all of the news is fake. I don't. I think there's still legitimate stories and legitimate pieces being written. But I think what happened was to compete with. I think the new age of the internet brought in a lot of gossipy bullshit journalism type stuff, and I think print journalism had to adopt that to survive or try and survive. So that's why you see like the New York Times. That's why you see more and more opinion pieces. If a piece says opinion, just ignore it. You know what I'm saying? I see so many people get fucking frustrated at pieces in the New York Times that say opinion. It's an opinion piece. Who gives a fuck? If you see an opinion piece, you just go, oh, I disagree with this, and then it's out of your mind, right? I don't know. I'm really just talking to myself when I say that. Oh, that's the name of the podcast. Oh. But I am because I'll read something that's an opinion piece and I'll get all pissed off and then I have to tell myself, "Hey, dude, it's an opinion. Hey, man, everyone's allowed to have an opinion. Why are you getting pissed off at this? It's not being written as news. It's just being written as, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Why are you getting angry at it? It's just what somebody's thinking. Chill out. Let him think that. You could think something different. You fucking write your own opinion. Write your own opinion piece on thoughtcatalog.com. Anyway, aliens, baby. That's what I was talking about. Dude, I fucking don't know what I'm saying ever anymore. It's really concerning. I'm only 27 and my mind is unraveling to the point where I'm speaking and I'm like, hey, what am I fucking saying? Does that get better as you're older? I feel like it only gets worse. The older you get, the more you're like, well, I have a tenuous grasp on the human language and what's happening inside my mind. So if this is me now, imagine me at 50. I'm just going to be like, Jeff, aliens, the aliens and fucking fuck you. I don't give a shit about fucking New World. Just, yeah. That's going to be this podcast when I'm 50. Damn fucking yo, how's it going? I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm a cookie. Anyway, aliens, bro. Let's talk about it. So, what? Classified items are being released now. Classified reports. I don't know much about the government or classified information at all, but it seems like, from my vague knowledge of it, that it's all classified documents become public to the American people eventually. Is that what happens? Because all these fucking things from the Pentagon from years ago, like reports and sightings and things they were talking about from years ago that were classified, are now like, hey, bro, you want to see what happened? Right? I don't know. I'm speaking totally out of my ass. Most of this podcast is our thoughts and ideas leaking directly out of my asshole. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But it seems like it's weird to cover things up that 50 years later that 50 years later are going to be released to the American public. Right? Doesn't that seem strange? To be like, aliens don't exist. You're crazy if you think aliens exist. And then fucking 20 years later, the news is like, hey, classified information from the Pentagon, classified documents are now open to the public. And they have the government saying, yeah, these, we found flying crafts that are not of this earth. Wait, so then so then people weren't crazy? Nah, they were crazy, but we're crazy too. It's very strange. You think Bob Lazar is fucking pissed as shit right now? Just like, I fucking told you guys. They're talking about what I was doing. Do you think he's doing that right now? Are you fucking kidding? Every time my timer scares the fuck out of me. Anyway, I'll be right back. That's the end of the first half. This camera's about to run out. I'll see you guys in a second. What's up? And we're back. If you guys don't know who Bob Lazar is the guy who said that he was working on a flying saucer in Area 51 in the 70s, I think. I don't know. I don't remember how far back it was. But he was the dude. He was the first guy to be like, I work for the Pentagon, or I work for the government. I'm working at Area 51. I'm working on an alien spaceship. I need to tell the American people. And then the Pentagon, the government was very much like, this guy never worked there. He's a fucking kook. Fuck this guy. And now they're like, hey, we have been looking at unidentified flying objects, and we think that they are not of this earth. So I guess I gotta ask the Pentagon and the government, what about Bobby, dude? Is Bobby still full of shit? Can we clear that up? Can we have a classified document that comes out that shows what the fuck he was doing? That was like, hey man, actually, we tried to fucking cover up that he existed at all. Turns out he did work for us, and he was a huge help, and everything he told you was the truth, and we gotta get out of here. Sorry! And we gotta piece the fuck out right now. Sorry! So weird, man. It's so weird to make, like, the most, so weird to hide shit that you're just gonna let out. I guess the mentality is like, and I guess it does work, but you classify a document, it comes out 30 years later, and by that time, nobody gives a fuck. Everyone's like, wow, this happened 30 years ago? I don't give a shit. That's really how we are as human beings. 30 years ago? I don't give a fuck. It didn't happen 2 hours ago? Why did you even tell me about it, you asshole? Listen, dude, I want a fucking new story every 15 minutes. That happened how long? 30 years ago, dude? I've already forgotten the article I read an hour ago. Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. There's too much shit, man. You can't keep track. There's too much shit. It's hard to focus in and care about anything that happens anymore. I think we've been desensitized to. There's a lot of, people always say like, oh, we've been desensitized to this, desensitized to that. American society is desensitized to violence, to chaos, to whatever the fuck. I think we've been desensitized to caring. I think there's so much shit happening that we're just like, yeah, okay. Like this alien thing. The Pentagon. So yeah, the Pentagon legitimately was like, oh, we're releasing classified documents. Are they classified? I don't know. I'm going to keep saying that. Like I said before, all of my information is tenuous at the best. But the big quote in every headline was, Pentagon says, what's called? UFOs not of this earth. Or not of the earth. And that's a big fucking thing for the government to say, is that these ships that we found, these flying objects that we found, these unidentified flying objects that we've come in contact with, that we found, that we've examined, we don't think they're of this earth. That's a huge thing to say. And in any other year, even last year, it would be such a big fucking thing to say. But I think in the past, I'd say 6 years, so much has happened. So much chaotic, crazy bullshit that I feel like people thought would never happen or could never happen has happened, that we're all just like, okay. Instead of us being like, wow, the government was lying about aliens and aliens actually do exist, and we're getting fucking the quote-unquote legitimate people finally admitting like, oh shit, aliens might exist. Any other year that would have been like, oh my god, this is blowing my mind. But this year, 2020, July 25th, it's like, yeah, okay. Sure. If they showed up tomorrow, we'd all be like, all right. Okay, man. What does this mean? Probably nothing. Who gives a shit? We become masters at like, I don't care. I got this new video game's out. Dude, did you hear what happened? Fucking aliens just landed on our planet. I just bought Ghost of Tsushima, and I didn't beat it. So unless they come to my house, I really don't give a fuck. That's really what, and maybe it's not all of humanity, but at least I think it's very much an American thing, and that's the only thing I have reference to, because I was born in America, and I'm American. But I really think like I think it's most people, but I think just most people, they don't care about anything until it's at their doorstep. They really don't give a fuck. Any threat, any violence, any terrible thing happening, as long as it's not to you or in your home, you don't care. And I don't know what that means. I'm not placing judgment on it at all. I'm not saying if that's a good or bad thing, but that's a fact. That's a fact. Even people who I know who live the life of, I care about everything. I care about people. When you watch their day-to-day activity, they're playing League of Legends. Like I've seen guys tweet about social justice and then log on to League of Legends for 12 hours. So it's like, I don't know. I think a lot of us don't put our money where our mouth is. Me included. I think I fall short a lot. I think we would like to do a lot of things that we're just like, I'm going to eat this thing instead. I don't know. There's a new restaurant. That's the thing too, is that like right now there's like such fewer distractions. And maybe that's why people have gone so much deeper into fighting for things, if that makes sense. So much deeper into, I don't know. I think we're seeing right now in society just like a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people right now. I'll speak for myself. I'm feeling a lot of just isolation and disillusionment and just like nihilism and just like, like what the fuck is going on? Like I'm feeling very pointless. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling very aimless. I'm feeling very worthless lately. And I think that the noise, like the fucking extreme energy being put out into Twitter, into the streets, into the world, a part of it, I think people are I think this moment has made everyone go, what's really important? What do I think is really fucking important? And I think because a lot of people are unemployed, because a lot of people are isolated, because a lot of people are feeling like what's the point of anything? I think it's making a lot of people search inward and go, what do I really care about? What makes me feel purposeful? What do I give a what part of the world do I want to change? And I think everyone's flipping their worthlessness into like, how do I be productive? How do I make this emptiness full? And everyone's fully putting themselves towards whatever their thing is, whatever the thing that fills their empty hole in their gut that makes them feel like they're worth something. Everyone's committing to that idea. Does that make any sense? Everyone's committing to, this is the thing that makes me feel like I'm doing something good. And everyone's tripling down on that because of this extreme feeling of worthlessness. This is just a theory. I'm also an asshole. So who the fuck knows if that makes any sense or if I'm onto anything or if I'm onto something. But if I'm onto anything. Dude, I'm definitely on one. Dude, am I on one? You bet your ass I am on uno. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I think people are desperate for aim, and we're all turning our aimlessness into something that we think is productive and fucking just shoving ourselves towards that. If that makes any sense, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, the fuck am I talking about? I'm just speaking in large generalities. I really think I'm losing my mind, dude. As I've been doing this podcast in lockdown in the state of the world right now, I really feel every time I do this, I'm like, I'm losing my mind. I don't know what I'm saying. I need to fucking visit and talk to more people in person because I don't know. I'm worried about that, man. I'm worried by the lack of. I don't know what all of you guys are doing, but I'm worried about the lack of fucking human interaction with other people that I've been experiencing. I don't, I see my parents, and that's about it. That's all I see, and maybe that's what's fucking deteriorating my mind. Is only having communication with these two jabronis, dude. Who are fucking wild, man. They're so goddamn wild. My mom doesn't know what the words are anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like the other day, I made a sandwich, and she was just eating cold cuts. I was like, "Oh, you're not gonna have it with bread?" She's like, "No, I don't really like it with bread. What I like to do is I take the cheese and I wrap the chicken up with the cheese and then I put a little bit of mayo on it, and then I don't really like the bread." And I'm like, "Okay, well, all right." And then I had mine with bread, and then I thought it tasted good, and then I went downstairs. I was like, "Oh, you should have had yours with rye bread." And then my mom was like, "What? Oh, you didn't have bread? What do you have it with? You didn't have it? What bread would you have had it with?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "What bread? Bread? Are you gonna have it with bread?" And I was like, What do you think I just said?" And she goes, "You just said that you should have had it with bread." And I said, "No, you should have had it with bread." And then she goes, "Oh, I thought you said that I should have had it with bread." Here's the thing, too, is I don't think she heard I. And then she was like, "Oh, I think I'm losing my hearing like your father." I don't think she is. I think she's just, I don't know if this is being old, but her brain is just transforming words. Or not even transforming words. I think she's just hearing them and placing them in different spots. Do you know what I'm saying? Because she was like, because I said, "You should have had it with rye bread." And I think she somehow took that as her having said, "You should have had it with rye bread." Do you know what I'm saying? Because how did she only replace the word "I" with "you"? Did she not hear my "you" and just filled in an "I"? I don't know. I don't know what happened. But she keeps doing that. She keeps replacing certain words in the sentence where she responds in a way where I go, "I don't know what you're saying." Or I'll be like, I can't think of a good example, but I'll be like, the sandwich example. I'll be like, "Oh yeah, you should, do you have any mayo? I would like, is there any mayo in the house? I like mayo." And my mom will be like, "Oh, you should probably have mayo on that." And I'll be like, "Did you hear what I just said?" And she'll go, "No, what?" And I go, "What?" But it's not a lack of hearing thing. It's like a lack of like understanding that people are in existence around you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like I said, I feel like talking about this, I'm losing my fucking mind. Dude, my mom, she wants to get a hearing test now. You know how a hearing test is like they play beeps and shit? For my mom, it's going to be, they're going to play the beeps and she's going to be like, "What? Did you just beep?" And they're going to be like, "What? What do you mean?" And she'll be like, Did you beep?" And they're going to be like, "Well, the device beeped. Yeah, but you heard it." She'll be like, "Yeah, I heard it. That was the device?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she'll be like, "Oh, okay." And then I'll beep again. She'll be like, "What? Did you say something to me?" And they'll be like, "No, I didn't. No, it's the device is beeping." "Oh, I thought you said something." "No, I didn't say anything." "Oh, okay. It's the device sign." "Yeah, the device beeped, okay?" "Okay. How's my hearing?" It's good. You're weird though. Your hearing's great. You heard all the beeps and the tones, but you think I'm doing it in my mouth? I don't. You have incredible hearing. You're just uncomfortable and strange. Nah, I love my mom. She's great. Love her. Oh, fuck. She's great. I don't know. It's just weird, man. It's weird living. I don't know. It's weird living here. It's weird being in this kind of limbo. This strange. I don't know. It's just strange times, man. Oh, I'm the first one to think of it. I'm the first one to say it too. I don't know if you guys know this, but times right now, they're strange, dude. And listen. I don't know who else has been saying it, but right now, what's going on? It's fucking nuts. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what you guys are thinking. I don't know what you guys are thinking. And this, I'm not trying to be too original here, but I think this might be I might be the first person to say it. But I think things right now, they're not great. I think it's pretty rough right now, huh? Oh, fuck. That's the thing, too, about the internet is that, and maybe it's just because I'm taking in so much of it. I spend so much fucking time on YouTube just watching shit, just watching everything. And doing that, you just hear a lot of people say the same shit. So then when I'm doing something like this, I'm always like, am I just saying the same shit? You know? It used to be without the internet, there were only a couple of people saying stuff. You know? There were only a couple of people who you were interested in, who were creative to you, who you were like, oh, I like their movies. There was like 3 directors you knew. Now it's like everybody's telling you a new person you're supposed to know and watch their thing, and there's so much shit, there's so many people talking that inevitably you're going to see, oh, all the ideas and thoughts that I thought and creative and gifted people that I thought were unique, it's actually just normal. All the really clever points or jokes that I thought were super clever, now I'm seeing like, oh no, like 15 people will come up with that joke at the same fucking time. I wonder that a lot. Are we not as unique as we thought? Like, are people not as much of individuals as they thought, and the internet is the evidence of that? Or is the internet making us become less and less individualistic? Is the internet making us all more just a blob and a mass and a global entity with no real individuality or personality? I don't know. I think the algorithm, that fucking thing, dude, that's the new Satan, right? The algorithm is the new devil. Because it's fucking us all up. We're all a slave to the fucking algorithm. Anybody who makes things or creative content, whatever content, anything that makes anything that goes on the internet needs to fucking abide by the algorithm and try and game the algorithm so your shit is seen. So inevitably we all have to talk about the same bullshit. Or you have a huge motivation to be talking about the same bullshit. See, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't think we all had the same opinion. I think that it used to be more interesting. I think it used to be, hey, talk about the things you're interested in, and that would show your individuality, is the fact that you cared about certain subjects. And so it would feel like people, if everyone's talking about the same thing, you're inevitably going to see a lot of people with the same fucking ideas. But if everyone's talking about different subjects, you're seeing way more subjects talked about with different perspectives about it, rather than one thing being talked about with so many perspectives being given that they're inevitably going to repeat. Does that make sense? I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is I think the trending Twitter trending is destroying society. Because certain things will happen, and then you'll see people's tweets, and you'll see like, oh, wait, people are literally just, there are people, a lot of people, who just look at trending and go, oh, these are the things on trending. Let me tweet about all these subjects. So it's like we have no personality anymore. We are not driven by any individual love for anything. It's so much of it is just like, hey, how do I make myself seen by more people? For what though? I don't know. It's so weird. That thing's in trending. I don't know much about it. Let me either tell a lame joke about it or try and make a fucking serious point about it, and hopefully I'll get a ton of likes from strangers that I don't know. Hopefully somebody will retweet me. Hopefully some 12-year-old I don't know at all will say that I'm smart. I don't know. It's weird, man. We live in a weird world. Again, that's an original thought by me, dude. Nobody's saying this. Nobody's saying that this is a weird world, bro. I'm on, that's upper echelon thinking right there. That we're in a strange world? Dude, that's never been said before. That we're in a strange world? Dude, that is not, dude, that's the first time that's ever being said. Dude, I'm fucking, no, yeah. I know, I guess sometimes doing this podcast, I just feel like I'm a part of the noise, you know? Just saying the same bullshit other people are saying. Hopefully that's not the case, but it probably is to some degree. I think inevitably to some degree, if you're talking, if you're speaking, you're saying something that someone else has either already said or already thinks. That's why I find it strange when people are like, well, like if you're like, oh, I have an idea for something, and then other people are like, oh, it's been done before. It's like, yeah, but you haven't done it yet, so why not try it? You know what I'm saying? Like the only thing that makes an idea unique is the individual doing it. Like we've made the same movies, the same plot has been recycled in movies fucking 9 million times. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't make another movie with a fucking plot that's worked before. You should do it if you have your own individual flavor that you're going to put on it. If you're going to make it into your own voice, it'll be good. I really believe that. That if you take an idea that's already been done before, but you have a specific attachment to it and passionate about it, that you can make something awesome with it. I mean, look at fucking, how done to death is the revenge story? Is the fucking human being in a fridge, right? That's what people call it, woman in a fridge. When it's a revenge story where the guy's wife dies or whatever. How many fucking people have been put in a fridge for the sake of a revenge film? A lot. But then John Wick comes along and they put a little puppy in a fridge and it becomes an incredible revenge tale that everybody fucking loves. There's nothing that original about John Wick. It's just a guy who, well, initially it was two directors, but it's directors that worked as stunt choreographers were like, oh, we love revenge movies, we love action movies, we love stunts. Let's make a fucking revenge movie that's very on the nose with amazing action sequences. And suddenly it feels original and unique. Is it? Are any of the ideas truly original? No. But it's fucking made so specifically and with so much passion, and the people who are involved in making it care about it so much that it becomes this thing you can connect with and that you fucking love. Like, how many people were like, this is a stupid idea? I saw the trailer to that movie and thought, this looks so stupid. I went, really? They kill his puppy? Who cares? Right? And then I saw it and I was like, oh, I get it. This movie's super serious about its revenge tale, but also it's acknowledging like, yeah, these revenge movies are as silly as someone kills the guy's puppy. But at the same time, it is fucked up that they killed his puppy, so he needs revenge. We sign off on it. We're like, yeah, dude, we buy in. We buy in because the movie is like, yeah, we know this is silly, but it's fun, so watch it. Do you know does that make sense? Anyway, what I'm saying is, there's a lot of things. Most of the best entertainment you've seen is either inspired by something else, or it's somebody going, hey, I want to do this idea, and a ton of other people were like, that's a stupid idea, and that person went, nah, I really like it. I like it enough to tell all these people, well, it's either tell all these people, fuck off, I'm going to do it anyway, or I like this idea enough to ignore these voices that are like, that's stupid, and just go, you know what, I'm going to make it anyway and see if it's stupid or not. How many people told Chad Stahelski, I don't know his last name, the guy who directed the John Wicks, how many people told him, hey, that's a dumb idea, Okay? Anyway, you're just a stunt coordinator. Why do you think you'll be good at directing? And he said, hey, I'm going to be good at directing, and also, we'll see if it's a stupid idea. And now he's fucking making a fourth John Wick movie. So what I'm saying is, I'm incoherent, I don't make any sense, but follow your dreams, okay? This is a fucking motivational podcast. Follow your goddamn dreams. Anyway, wow. I picked up the phone and the timer went off. That's the reason why. Thank God I picked up the phone just in time for it to say 0 so I didn't scare the shit out of myself again with the timer. Anyway, follow your dreams, guys. I don't make any sense. This podcast was weird as fuck, and I didn't make any sense, and I'm feeling strange lately. But I'm trying to remain sane. I'm trying to remain productive, and I'm trying to continue to entertain you. So I hope this podcast made some sense. I hope you guys laughed. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. This was fun, even though right now I feel like I didn't make any fucking sense. This is the most incoherent and strange I've ever felt doing this podcast, but that's all a part of the fun. Anyway, I had a good time this week. Josh, my boy Josh Nasser. If you look up Josh Nasser on YouTube, he fucking did a sex fails thing for Comedy Central, and it's super hilarious. Go watch that. Jake and Josh, we got some videos on there. I'm editing some more right now. The main channel will have some videos soon. Maybe it won't. I don't fucking know what's going on. I'm gonna fucking jump off a cliff. Anyway, yeah. Watch the stuff. Listen to the podcast. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.
J-A